And it looks like we are live. Let me see if the screen actually updates. It does so very slowly. Let me see if I can verify it on the phone. YouTube, go away. Oh, come on. I don't want to sign up for YouTube Premium. I want my channel. Oh, come on. How do I get to my channel? Yes, and it does look we are like indeed live. Go away, YouTube. Now I can't get rid of YouTube. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. The screen does not update very quickly on the actual computer, and I just wanted to make sure that we were indeed live. So this is going to be an impromptu live stream. I decided to do this kind of over the weekend, so I guess it's not completely impromptu. Just to answer a question, a viewer asked how I set up short strangles. So I'm going to just transition here to my trading account. Let me make sure ba, 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 that this propagates through. There's also like a 10-second lag or so between what I'm saying and what's on my screen and what's on the actual streaming screen. Yes, we are good. So this is a small trading account I have. It only has a few positions in. I'm kind of small on positions because implied volatility is low. If we go down here and we look at the VIX, VIX is right here. We see VIX is only about in the 15 handle. So compared to last year when it was in the 20s most of the time, we have low volatility. So, as I told this fellow, I like to trade. My default strategy is the short strangle, and I like to trade underlines that have a high implied volatility relative to itself. So, if kind of like the average volatility of an underline is just say 20%, if that happens to be at a given time 25%, I'm more inclined to trade it than if we're at 15% or lower. So, I have a brief, simple watch list here of positions I've traded recently or have current positions in, like Tesla. To determine the implied volatility, where it is relative to itself, this platform here, Tasty Trade, has this column IVR for IV rank. So as you can see, Tesla is actually pretty high here. This one down here, Apple is pretty low. And hence I do not have an Apple position. I don't have a Netflix position, even though Netflix is kind of high too, 26% kind of relative to itself. So I just want to sort these based on IVR. So here, that's from low to high. Here's from high to low. So Micron, which I have a position in already, is high. AT&T is high. Tesla is high. I have positions in all of these. Verizon, I don't have in this account, but I do have it in another account. Amazon, I have a position in. AMD, I do not. So here's a possibility. Let's look at trading AMD. So I come up here, AMD. I go to the trade tab. I mean, how you enter this in your own platform depends on the details of that platform, but they're all kind of similar. AMD has earnings coming up when August 1st, so in the near future, but not like right this moment. So I also like to have the expiration, normal expiration cycle, not the weeklies, that's closest to 45 days. So that would be the August cycle here. And the reason I don't do the weekly cycles just tends to be for liquidity purposes. So obviously, if I were to go to the weeklies, I could get closer to 45 days, but the liquidity is not as good. So I will default generally to like a one standard deviation strangle. So Tasty Trade provides these standard deviation lines. So if I'm here at the 90 strike for the put, the 125 strike for the, I'm sorry, the 130 strike for the short call, this is going to give me a premium here of $3.40. And the delta on this is a little bit short. So 8 deltas, theoretically the equivalent of 8 deltas short. There seems to be some sort of call skew in AMD. So normally an underlying, if you go to, let's say the spiders, SPY, and we just look at the August option chain, if we go 10 strikes down, so at the money is roughly 435. So if we go to 425 and look at the put, it's a little over $4. If we go to the 445, this call here, actually it's a little over $4, so there's not that much calls put skew. Normally the puts trade richer than the calls. Let's go out to one standard deviation here. So 411 is 217. And if we go to one standard deviation, now you get to see it. The call is only $1, a little over $1. So the puts trade richer than the calls. Now if we go to AMD, we see that that's kind of the other way around. If we are at the 125 line, so we're just inside one standard deviation here. So we are $15, roughly speaking, above, and there's some call skew, but not that much. See how the put here is cheaper than the call. So if I move this up here, it's going to give me lower credit. Actually, it's not, but it's still giving me a little bit of short delta. So do I want to do this? This gives me basically 0 delta, so I'm -3. Do I care that much? Do I want the higher credit or the wider strangle? In this case, because AMD I know moves a lot, I think I will prefer to go for the wider strangle. So, I mean, yeah, I'm going to default to the wider strangle. So I'm bringing in 280 credit if I get filled at the mid price. So I'm just going to route this trade. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to penny down a bit. Or penny down a lot. 5 cents. No, 1 cent. There we go. And we are filled on that trade. So that's basically what I look at. I will look at my overall portfolio delta, which right now I'm pretty flat because we've had, today's an up day, but the last few days have been down. So I picked up positive delta as the market sold off, and I lost a bit of that now. So I'm delta neutral. Hence, I want a delta neutral position unless I have a particular bias one way or the other. So, for example, if my portfolio were short, maybe I would have biased this more towards the long side, moving this put up to maybe like the 100 line. So that would give me a long delta strangle. So that's about it. Let me go back to my actual positions tab. Here's the AMD position. I like to manage these at 50% of max profit. So as you can see here, Tesla is basically, this little status bar here gives you the percentage of max profit that you're at. So I've made on this position $390, and it's a one lot. So yeah, I'm above the 50% profit on here. So I think I'm going to put in a closing order for this. And if they fill me, they fill me. If not, I'll close it tomorrow. So that's about it. The viewer had some questions on what he should learn. I mean, if you want to trade, I think you should learn to trade everything, especially options. Even if you're mainly stocks, you can overlay calls and overlay options on top of your positions. I don't think I have any. Maybe I have a little bit of. Yeah, so I have a stock position AT&T and just a call that I've sold against it. I could sell a strangle against it, so I might have like 100 shares of stock, and one short strangle. So two, I might, in addition to the call, have a short put, something like that. Obviously, that's going to give me more long delta, long bias. But I think it's good to learn as much as you can learn. This account is permissioned, even though it's really small, to trade futures. So instead of having a position in SPY, I have a position in the micro E-mini futures, E-micro futures here. The reason for that is the buying power reduction is a little bit less. I think to trade like a single SPY put, let's go to SPY and let's just sell a put at the, let's go to August just to be consistent. If I were to sell this put here, oh, there goes the Tesla. This is going to cost me 6,000, basically 6,300 in buying power. So I'm going to have to put up almost 7,000 to make this trade. If I were to go to /MES, there's a quirk in that, in the options in that MES is considered. All the options are considered exotic, so I have to switch to all options instead of just monthly. If I go to the August here, and I were to sell the equivalent of that same put, it only costs me $760, and it's half the size, so theoretically I should sell two of these to be the equivalent of the SPYs. So it costs me 1,500 as opposed to 7,000. So it's cheaper to trade this in terms of capital efficiency. And you can get half the size, which is a plus too, because as I said, this account is small. Yeah. Since Tesla is high volatility and we closed that, let's put on a Tesla position now. They're going to have earnings coming up. Pretty much everything has earnings coming up. If I could type correctly, Tesla. They have earnings coming up July 19th, so I'm not going to worry about earnings. I'm just going to go to the August options, and let's sell what? The stock is roughly $245. Let's look at the one standard deviation. Actually, yeah, see, Tesla has a lot of call skew. Again, it's one of those stocks that tend to explode to the upside when it does move. Let me see what my portfolio delta is now that I've closed the first Tesla position and did the AMD position. Wrong account. I'm technically short just a tiny bit, like 3 SPY delta. So let's see. Let's sell that put. And Tesla moves. What am I collecting for that put? 365, 370. Should I just sell the put or should I sell a call against it? I don't really like selling these far out calls. This is a 10 delta. I have my screen set up here, delta, probability of being in the money, so that's only 7%. What if I go here? I can collect a total of $6.25. It's a tiny bit long delta, so I would consider that delta neutral. So let's route that order and see what happens. They're not going to fill me at the mid price. Go down. Let's go down 3 cents. Done. And what price did they fill me at? 617. Okay. I did not get price improved. But yeah, that's about it. Let me switch back to this screen here. Sorry about the glare off of the window, but as I said, this was kind of improvised, and I did not want to worry about the lighting for the video. So yeah, that's about it. As I said, even if you don't want to trade options, it's a good idea to learn the basics thereof. If you decide to trade it, trade small. You notice everything pretty much in that small account was one lots. Even in an account I have that's literally 25 to 30 times as big as that account, I'm mostly trading one lot. I think I have a couple cases where I have 5 contracts, but yeah, you don't know how big small is until it goes against you and you get burned. So if you're going to trade options, keep it small. I always recommend Tasty Live. I think they've rebranded themselves as, for learning options. I haven't followed them in years, but they're really the source of all my knowledge on options trading. Aside from like definitional things. Prior to that, I knew what a call was, what a put was, what a covered call was, what a strangle was, but they really taught me how to trade, and so I can't recommend them enough. I haven't looked at them in the last couple of years, but they've historically been pretty good, so I'm assuming that's still the case. You can get so much more information off of them than you can off of me because all of their stuff is archived. You can go back in time, whereas I really can't put in the time to do the same level of effort. And yeah, that's about it. There was a question on learning other things like algorithmic trading. I don't think the run-of-the-mill trader like you and me is going to make use of algorithmic trading. The reason I might want to learn something about it isn't so much for the trading point of view, but say if you're into finance, learning the math behind it, learning how to program is always a good thing. Even if you're not a trader per se or doing finance, if you're doing engineering, more mathematics is always good, more programming is good. So it's not for the trading that I think it would be beneficial, just for other kind of spillover effects. So yeah, I'm going to leave this up, and it should be under the live tab under my channel page. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will. Let me see what's required to shut this down. You can see how professional I am here um, with this. I don't even know how to shut it down. Bum 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 bum. I think I just have to click this button here. So assuming this works, I will talk to you. Oh, I am just completely swamped. I don't really have time to do videos on any sort of regular basis. The last video was another live stream, and that was over 100 days ago. I'm busy literally from 6 a.m. when I get up to 11 p.m. when I go to bed. And every time I plan a video and start to do it, like if I had an hour free on the weekend, I kind of get back up to speed to where I was the last time I stopped, and then I have to stop again for another month or two. And so I would like to give you a more concrete schedule as to when the videos are coming out, but unfortunately I can't do so. So they'll be out when they're out, and assuming all I have to do is click this button here to stop, I will